Hi everyone, welcome to the muster drill. I'm Scott, and there's a couple of cruise passengers who are in trouble with Customs and Border Patrol. Hi everyone, welcome back. So, it's pretty common, I think, for most of us to bring something back from our cruise vacation that we didn't necessarily pay for. So specifically what I'm talking about is many of us have been to private islands or to beach excursions while on our cruise, and we are walking along the shore and we see a seashell or some other type of object that is on the beach there that we think is pretty or nice looking, and we want a souvenir to remind us of this great day that we've just had or that we are having while we're on the at the location. And so we reach down, we pick it up, we bring it back with us. There's not really any specific language that says how much is too much and and so forth, and there's not even really a lot of information about what the penalty might be if somebody ended up bringing back something that they shouldn't, or too much or of something or whatever. A couple who took a cruise out of New Orleans, and it was a 7-day Western Caribbean cruise, and I believe they stopped in places like Montego Bay and Grand Cayman and Cozumel. So it was a Western Caribbean itinerary. And while in these different ports, I assume on beach excursions and so forth, they acquired some items that they said they were bringing back to use in crafts. So what ends up happening is this couple, they end up finishing their cruise out, and they get back to New Orleans, and for whatever reason, in this case it was the CBP, Customs and Border Protection, they decide to pull this couple aside, out of the line, and take them aside and ask them if they can search their bags. So they bring in an agricultural specialist. I guess there's an agent or whatever, or several agents that are agricultural specialists, and they want to do bag searches for these two individuals. So I guess they agree to it. And upon inspection of their bags, they found, I guess what, CBP deemed way more than what was customary. So it turns out it was more than 509 ocean-related items. So here's the quick list. So it turns out they brought back 9 sea fans. Now I'm going to be throwing some pictures up here to kind of show you, a few of the items that were confiscated. Obviously, there's not images of all 509 plus items, but in any event, you'll be able to see, some of the items that were confiscated. So these sea fans are kind of these, they're just kind of like what they sound like. They're thin and they are vertical, and they kind of look like the fan that you would fan yourself with. So, and they're alive, obviously. Now I don't know if these items were alive when the passengers harvested them or whatever, but so they had 9 sea fans, they had 47 sea sponges, they had 5 queen conch shells, 297 shells of varying species and I guess shapes and sizes, and 68 individual pieces of coral, 25 pieces of crabs. They had 30 sea urchins and 21 mussel shells, among other things. So yeah, so I guess there was I guess after they examined all of that, they confiscated all of those items, and I believe they turned them over to the U.S. Fish and Game Commission. Not sure what they did with them. I doubt they returned them to those respected locations in the Caribbean. A lot of us wouldn't think about something like this. Now, I'm sure most of us are just obtaining, a few of these items. We look down again, we see a shell or something, maybe we have a little bit of sand. Now, when I was doing some research for this, I couldn't really find any information about specific laid out penalties for something like this. So it turns out if you go to Hawaii and you remove too much of their sand or something like that or whatever, there was a couple at one point who were fined $1,200 for removing, I guess, an excessive amount of sand. Although it looks like the fines could be as much as $100,000. Again, no real information about what constitutes what fine you get or whatever, but a very interesting thing. So you ask yourself, a lot of people just wouldn't think about it at all. You just wouldn't think about this situation whatsoever. You're there, you're having a good time, and you bring back some stuff. Now, this couple indicated they were bringing this amount of things back that they were going to use in various crafts and so forth. And there was no information as to whether or not they, there was any specific information that, again, singled them out. But the couple were released with a warning. Turns out that they received that warning only because there was no record of them having ever been pulled aside or detained for this particular situation in the past. So it looks like, at least in that particular instance, the first offense was a warning. And again, no real specific information about what the penalty would be for, say, a second or third offense. Hopefully, in a situation like that, most people would learn their lesson and not, go to that extent again. Now, this, of course, just applies to things that, items that you obtain, I guess, in the wild, for lack of a better way of putting it. This would not have anything, this would not be related to anything that you purchase. So if you purchased shells or purchased sea sponges, anything you have a receipt for. So again, if you do purchase some of those items or whatever, you maybe just have your receipt handy in case, something like that happens when you're returning from your cruise and going through CBP. Yeah, just don't bring back too many things that you find laying around on a beach somewhere while you're on your cruise vacation. So moving on, I wanted to just mention a couple of things from Royal Caribbean, some good news coming from Royal Caribbean. So during a recent earnings call, the CEO of Royal Caribbean Group, Jason Liberty, mentioned that he feels that the CDC has a lot of confidence and is pleased with the way the cruise industry is handling the onboard COVID situation. And Jason believes this is the case because the CDC agreed to not extend the CSO, or conditional sale order. I don't know if I agree with that one way or the other, and it probably doesn't matter if I do, because that information, or that conversation that Jason had during that call, led to an additional statement by CEO of Royal Caribbean International, Michael Bailey. And what Michael Bailey mentioned was that, at least in the short term, we can expect to see a reduction or an elimination of certain protocols related to COVID. Now, he didn't give any specific time or any specific items that we would see go away. My guess is it's probably going to start with masks. So obviously, the elephant in the room is the whole negative COVID test, and definitely the time frame in which everybody has to go through. I am finding, like everyone else, more and more difficulty getting that test and getting it done. And I don't know if it's so much of a difficulty as it is a real hassle, and it is getting old really fast for me. And one thing that I've been doing is I've been getting my tests done at a specific location that only does tests Monday through Friday. And of course, we have this 48-hour window, and my next cruise is on the Carnival Sunshine out of Charleston, South Carolina, which leaves on a Monday, which means I cannot get my test at the traditional place that I normally go to because they're only open on Monday through Friday, and this cruise leaves on Monday, so I, of course, need to get my test on Saturday and can't. Royal Caribbean recently announced that they are going to eliminate the expiration date on any FCC that was issued during their, during the shutdown and the whole cruise with confidence thing. Now, if you've been following along with that, which most of us have, and a lot of us, are following along with that because, we have a vested interest because we have a Royal Caribbean FCC. So in any event, they've been kicking that can down the road for quite a while now and, constantly extending that deadline. Well, now the deadline is eliminated and, you'll be able to use these FCCs, when you feel comfortable or when you're ready to actually get back on a ship. So that's great news too. So I think that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in. And if you like this video, don't forget to click that like button. And then don't forget to click that subscribe button. It won't cost you anything. You click it once and you're done, and it'll really help us out a lot. And then don't forget to click the notification bell so that you know every time we upload a new video. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.